Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Bienvenidos. Mr. Mayor, Assembly and Common Council members, distinguished guests, my name is Tony Snell, and I'm a member of the City of Milwaukee Equal Rights Commission, and honored to represent my colleagues, including our acting chair, Ches Ordonez, our incredible support staff within the City Department of Administration, and our invaluable community partners. Thank you all for being here. October is LGBT History Month, and today we are making history in Milwaukee. Please allow me to go back and share a little bit of history. Before moving here to Milwaukee, I came from the South, and you can probably tell there's a little bit of tinge in my accent. I wanted to do some research to find out about Milwaukee, whether it's welcoming to LGBTQ people and couples like my husband and me. So I looked up the Human Rights Campaign Municipal Equality Index, and it was below my expectations. I thought it would be a little bit better. It was closer to some of the southern cities. So I made a few phone calls, reached out to the community center, the local community center here. They put me in touch with a local realtor and some other people and individuals who I spoke with, and I was assured that Milwaukee was going to be a great place to live. I was surprised. I thought the score could be higher. So after I settled in for a little bit, I started thinking about that number again and what we needed to do here. So the mayor, Mayor Tom Barrett, has this event every summer. It's Walk with the Mayor. You walk 100 miles, you walk through the city, you walk on your own, you get physically active. But at the same time, he always starts those events by saying, listen, we can walk together and we can talk together. So just come up and see me if you've got something to say, if you've got something on your mind. And I took advantage of that. I began my relationship with the mayor. We talked. He again noticed that accent and inquired about me. And so we talked about the score. And both of us agreed that maybe we weren't reporting as much because Milwaukee certainly was a better place in that particular score. But we also knew that there was things to do and to get done. So he said, we're better than that. He also said we can get 100 too. And what impressed me most was he said, let's get it done. It wasn't like I'm gonna look into it, I'll call my staff. He looked at me and said, let's get it done. I also took that as like, you're gonna do the work too. We're gonna do it as a team effort in this city. So later on, he appointed me to the Equal Rights Commission, and then I shared the score with the commission and asked them to prioritize it, to get it done. My colleagues embraced it. The Department of Administration, led by Director Sharon Robinson, embraced it. And Jessica Langle, the city's equal rights specialist, not only embraced it, she ran with it. Jessica, where are you today? Right behind me. A big hand to Jessica. Thank you. We all got the ball rolling. We rolled up our sleeves, and we got to work. The mayor, Common Council, and Equal Rights Commission made furthering LGBTQ inclusiveness a central goal, enacting vital protections against the harmful and debunked practice of so-called conversion therapy, ensuring that city employees have access to transgender inclusive health care, expanding citywide protections for gender expression, gender identity, and HIV status, offering municipal IDs with gender-neutral markers, the Milwaukee Police Department with community input, and many of you in here, revised and enhanced its standard operating procedures for engaging transgender, gender nonconforming, and intersex communities. Now, we can proudly say that all LGBTQ residents, workers, and visitors are protected in employment, housing, and public accommodations. While we accomplish these goals because it's the right thing to do, inclusiveness and diversity are fundamental to our economic success by helping attract investment, a skilled and diverse workforce, and of course, the most cosmopolitan visitors to our city. There are many reasons why people come here, but few are more important than the vibrancy and visibility of our diverse populations and neighborhoods. Today, we are making history in Milwaukee Today, October 11th, is also National Coming Out Day. What better day to celebrate who we are, who we love, in a city that embraces us more than ever. Yes, today we're making history in Milwaukee, and yes, we have more work to do, but be certain this is not the last time we'll be making history in Milwaukee. Thank you for helping advance our score and making Milwaukee a more affirming and caring city. A big thank you to the Human Rights Campaign, who's working diligently across this country and right here. Please join me in welcoming and thanking HRC President Chad Griffin. Thank you, Chad. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tony, for those kind remarks, but also for your steadfast leadership. We are grateful. On behalf of the Human Rights Campaign and our more than 3 million members and supporters across this country, it is my distinct pleasure to be here on, as Tony said, National Coming Out Day, to announce Milwaukee's score on HRC's 2018 Municipal Equality Index, and also to celebrate and to thank all those who make this work possible. In addition to my colleagues at HRC and the Equality Federation, I especially want to thank some of the leaders that I have the honor of sharing this podium with today. First and foremost, Mayor Barrett, for your leadership. We are grateful. Tony Snell, who you just heard from the Equal Rights Commission, our partners in this work, here in this state and across this state. From Fair Wisconsin, the Executive Director, Megan Macdonald. We could not do this work without not just our city partners, but also our statewide organizational lead partners across this country. Also, State Representative Zamarripa, who is joining us and who you'll be hearing from, Alderman Johnson, and grassroots advocates and leaders such as Syd Robbie, who we are so pleased to have joining us today. I know there are many others that are standing up here, as well as others that are in this room, this beautiful, beautiful City Hall. I told the mayor, how do you have the most incredible City Hall in America? And I quickly got a history lesson about City Hall, so I won't attempt to repeat it, or I'd get something wrong there, but it's a phenomenal history, and we're grateful for you welcoming us. And I also just want to acknowledge someone, and while at this very moment she is not standing here at this podium, she stands with us on a daily basis. I just want to acknowledge how lucky Wisconsin is to have the champion you have in the Equality Act, as we do with Senator Tammy Baldwin, who takes... Senator Baldwin is a key and critical partner in this work to ensure that we can pass the Equality Act, and she fights this fight every single day in Washington. For the past 2 years, LGBTQ equality has been under attack by those at the highest levels of our government. But while cynical politicians in Washington attempt to roll back our hard-fought progress, many local leaders are championing equality in big cities and small towns from coast to coast. During a year in which we fought back and helped to defeat 114 anti-LGBTQ bills across 29 states, it's vitally important that these cities like Milwaukee, are stepping up to provide crucial, common-sense protections for their LGBTQ residents and visitors. The Municipal Equality Index is the nationwide gold standard when it comes to measuring LGBTQ inclusion in municipal law, policy, and services. And the 2018 MEI paints a vivid picture. Regardless of the hateful attacks and rollbacks unfolding in Washington and in many state legislatures across this country, cities big and small, in red, blue, and purple states alike, so many are continuing to move our progress forward towards full equality. And that's certainly the case here in Milwaukee. I am so proud to be here today to announce that Milwaukee has earned a perfect 100 on HRC's 2018 Municipal Equality Index. This achievement would not have been possible without the leadership of the Milwaukee Common Council, Mayor Barrett, the Equal Rights Commission, Fair Wisconsin, so many grassroots activists and leaders, political and social justice leaders across the city. all of those who came together to make advancing equality here in Milwaukee a top priority. Working together, you have helped Milwaukee become the first city in Wisconsin to enact vital protections against the harmful and debunked practice of so-called conversion therapy, otherwise known as child abuse. You've ensured that city employees have access to transgender inclusive health care, and you've expanded citywide protections for sexual orientation and gender identity to public places. And today, in Milwaukee, all LGBTQ residents, workers, and visitors are protected from discrimination in employment, in housing, and in public accommodations. That is quite the achievement, and we are grateful. I also told the mayor that this not only has impact here, it causes other mayors and other cities across the state and around the country. It creates a little competition and folks who will want to catch up. So you're having impact with your leadership across the state and around this country. You're not only improving the quality of life for your residents and visitors, you're also sending a loud and clear message that Milwaukee, this city, is open for business. Because as businesses look for expansion or relocation opportunities, it has become standard practice to prioritize inclusive communities that value diversity and protect all residents equally. And the MEI is the tool that helps these companies make crucial evaluations to determine which cities are welcoming and which cities are unwelcoming. HRC is proud to work alongside the mayor and other leaders here in the city and across the nation who understand that equality, diversity, equity, and inclusion are both the good and right thing to do for the community, but are also good for business. So Milwaukee, thank you for standing with us. Thank you for helping to lead the way towards a more just and more fair future. And thank you for boldly moving equality forward. It's now my pleasure to introduce the champion of equality here in this city, who's helping to lead the charge. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Tom Barrett.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Well, thank you very much, Chad, and welcome to Milwaukee. We are truly honored that you chose Milwaukee. We're very proud of what we have accomplished, and we're equally proud. You could have gone to any city, and you chose to come here, and I think that underscores the significance of what we have accomplished. There's a lot of good things to be said, and I'm going to try to say as many as I can, but this is a good day for grade mongering. And what I mean by that is Tony told the story, and he told it very, very well. I remember being on that walk with Tony, and he mentioned our poor grade. And I don't think I showed my visible unhappiness with him, but I was unhappy with that grade because it was, I think, a 71 or something like that. And I thought, this is not right. This is not right. And I felt in many ways as though we were that student in 3rd or 4th grade who had done our homework but had not handed it in. Because I know this city, I know how welcoming and warm this city is to all people. And I thought, oh geez, we have to change this, because I don't want people from outside this city to not understand how great this city is in welcoming all people. So I came back to City Hall, and Sharon Robinson was part of this. Jessica, who's been phenomenal in all of this, we said, we've got to get this done. As Tony said, let's get this done. Let's get this done. We can do this. We have a story to tell here, and it's up to us to tell the story as to how warm this city is. So I asked them over the last couple of years, over and over again, how are we doing? How are we doing? Are we making progress? Are we making progress? Because this was my goal. My goal was to say that the city of Milwaukee embraces diversity and is at the top of the list for the Human Rights Campaign. And we have achieved that goal today. And I want to thank everybody who's been involved in this. This has been a team effort. This has been a team effort. When you've got people like State Representative JoCasta Zamarripa, who is fighting for us at the state level, when you've got people like Cavalier Johnson, who took a lot of flack for the work that he did in passing the legislation he did to make sure that we are not treating our young people unfairly because of the choices that they make and because who they are. That tells you that we have leadership at the Common Council level, at the state level, and most importantly, in this community as well. The number of organizations, the number of individuals, and there are so many, I can't name them all, who make this an inclusive city, who understand we are all people who want to love and who want to be loved. This is about as basic as it can be as human beings. And when we send that message that we are an inclusive city, we are sending a message of love and understanding, respect, and that's important for us to do. But there are economic benefits as well. And I will tell you, we weren't shy, for example, when the Democratic National Committee came here to say to them, hey, you might want to look at the Human Rights Campaign grades for all these cities to see how we do. And I knew that because we had handed in our papers for the final grading. And I knew how we were going to come out. But I want to put the pressure on other communities. I want them to see what we have done here because it's important. So a huge thank you to everyone who's standing behind me and everybody in this community who said, let's get this done together. This is important for our city, it's important for the people who live here, and it's important for the people who want to come here. So again, thank you very, very much. This is a special day for me, it's a special day for the city. And I want to bring up now Alderman Johnson, who really has been the leader on the Common Council to make sure that our Common Council embraces, which it did, leadership as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Alderman Cavalier Johnson.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We just achieved a perfect score of 100, so I think that that's a cause for a round of applause for all of you and all the work that you all did to make that happen. I first want to welcome President Griffin to Milwaukee. Thank you for being here. We are glad that you chose to visit our city. Of all the cities you could have gone to, you chose to come here to Milwaukee. I want to thank the Human Rights Campaign also for their work, not just here in Wisconsin, but across America, working to lift up underserved communities all over America. That's a great thing. And I want to thank the Human Rights Campaign as well for recognizing our work on the conversion therapy ban here in Milwaukee. When my Common Council colleagues and myself passed an ordinance banning the practice of conversion therapy in Milwaukee, and the mayor signed that ordinance right away, we didn't do it because we were looking for points. We didn't do it because we were even trying to be recognized. We didn't have this day in mind. The reason that we did that is simply because it was the right thing to do. When a friend of mine in the LGBT community came to me and he told me about the practice of conversion therapy, I knew right away that it's something that we had to take action on. We had to do something about that because no matter how far south you go in this city, no matter how far north or east or west you go in this city, there are going to be young people, young men and young women struggling to make a decision to let the people that they care about, let the people that they know and they love, making them aware of the fact that they may be LGBTQ. They may identify. And we know that sometimes families are not as accepting and as welcoming of that news as perhaps they should be. But regardless if that's the case or not, there's no reason why any community, not here nor anywhere else in this county, in this state, or in this country, should allow for a practice like conversion therapy to take hold. A practice that is unfounded, that has been debunked, that is said not to be something that's useful by so many medical and psychological associations across the United States. There's no reason to allow that practice to continue. And so we wanted to make sure that we took action so that did not take hold here in our city. And then when we did that, not only did we become the first city in Wisconsin to do it, we also were able to do exactly what was mentioned. We encourage other cities to take action. I've been hearing that in some communities here in Milwaukee County, they're interested in pushing forward their own ordinances on conversion therapy. I know that our second largest city, Madison, has followed in our lead and has banned conversion therapy as well. So we're we're certainly taking the lead, and we're certainly making a difference, but we know that we can't stop there. And I know that with the advocacy of all of you, with folks like Tony Snell and Chez and others on the Equal Rights Commission here at our city, with our partners in Fair Wisconsin and other places, and with advocates like the Human Rights Campaign, we're going to get it done, not just on a statewide basis here in Wisconsin, but we're going to do it across America as well. Thank you, guys. Oh, and now I'm pleased to introduce Megan from Fair Wisconsin. Thank you.
Thank you, Alder Johnson. My name is Megan Macdonald, and I'm the Executive Director of Fair Wisconsin, and I'm just really very honored to be included in this group of amazing people here because, you know, to be honest, this is one of those times where I just feel like we really can't take any credit for this at all. This group of people is who made this happen. So I'm incredibly honored to be here. Fair Wisconsin is our very own statewide LGBTQ civil rights advocacy organization. We work with state and local policymakers to advance LGBTQ equality through policy changes and legislation around the state. In times like these, when opportunities for progress in civil rights at the national level and in the Capitol in Madison seem so few and far between, as fair-minded and welcoming communities, we need to take matters into our own hands, and that's exactly what Milwaukee has done here. And today we're so proud of the city of Milwaukee and all of its leaders with the remarkable achievement of reaching a score of 100 in the HRC MEI. Especially notable in a year when the benchmarks have been, were boosted, they were made more stringent than ever, so this is really quite an amazing achievement. It's such a great accomplishment that provides legal protections for such a large segment of Wisconsinites as well. With these advances, we've got so many more people in our state having protections. The HRC MEI is a very invaluable tool for cities to measure their progress. As some of our leaders have mentioned, it's a great way to kind of get those competitive juices flowing. And as we at Fair Wisconsin continue to push for state government to recognize the need for protections for everyone in the LGBTQ community, our local government officials are leading the way for equality. And Fair Wisconsin, in partnership with HRC Wisconsin and all of our other allies, will continue to work side by side with local leaders to make the Badger State a safer and more welcoming place for all. So congratulations and thank you to everyone. And with that, I have the pleasure of introducing a friend of mine, State Representative JoCasta Zamarripa, who is doing the very hard work in the Capitol. It's an uphill struggle, and she's there doing it every day. So thank you, JoCasta.
Thank you, Megan. Happy National Coming Out Day. I'm State Representative JoCasta Zamarripa, and I'm an out, proud, openly bisexual member of our LGBTQ community. And Megan just said it, it's tough right now in the state capitol, where we have been under a Republican administration, under Governor Walker, and leaders, unfortunately, that have not supported our LGBT community. You know, right before I came to the press conference, I printed out our 2017 equality agenda. A series of bills that our out openly LGBT members, Democratic members, introduced this last legislative session. Things like statute cleanup. We need to clean up our statutes to reflect same-sex marriage. Now that marriage equality is the law of the land, our statutes it's a technical fix. It's got to be done. But Republicans refuse to pass that bill and make sure that that happens. We haven't added gender identity and gender expression to our non-discrimination statutes. That's something that is sorely missed in Wisconsin. We've always been a leader in equality for LGBT Wisconsinites, and to not have gender identity, gender expression, gender nonconformity added to our non-discrimination statutes is a real travesty. And so this is great to say that I'm a Milwaukeean and to know that our city is pushing our state and holding us accountable, putting pressure on us to make sure that we're making the great state of Wisconsin a wonderful place for LGBTQ Wisconsinites to call home. And so I want to thank Milwaukee. I want to thank the mayor. I thank Alderman Chevy Johnson and the entire Common Council, the Equal Rights Commission for this work and making sure that we achieve 100%. I remember getting that back in the day in school when you get 100 on your spelling test. And so gold stars all around for my colleagues here at the local level for showing the state how it needs to be done. Thank you. Oh. And with that, I'd like to introduce my friend, leader, transgender activist, and actor, artist, Syd Robbie.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Hello. I'd like to say thank you to everyone at HRC, especially Dion Young and Wendy Strout, for inviting me here today. This MEI score recognition is very exciting news, and how appropriate that we're gathered here on National Coming Out Day. As an advocate, actor, and creative person of transgender experience, I'm astutely aware of the policies that are and are not in place to protect transgender individuals in the cities that I visit and work in. I feel especially grateful to live in a city like Milwaukee that provides protection policies for the transgender community. However, no one should have to rely on what city they live in and work in to be protected. I'd like to commend the city of Milwaukee for achieving the Municipal Equality Index score of 100%. As the press release stated, a record 78 cities earned perfect scores for advancing LGBTQ inclusive laws and policies. Now that's up from just 68 last year in 2017 and 11 in 2012. In our current political reality, welcoming and forward-thinking cities are more important than ever. I want to thank you, Mayor Barrett, and the entire team for taking this commitment seriously, for showing that Milwaukee can be the welcoming community that we say we are. Communities that thrive, attract, and maintain talent, creativity, and innovation. In order to do that, we have to be sure that the welcome mats and the protections are available and working for everyone. We, the people living our lives in Milwaukee, want to feel like our contribution to this city continues to develop and grow, that the city appreciates us and recognizes our contributions in helping to make this city great. Today's score announcement and commitment are not just talk. These represent real actions. These are the things that people working for our city have done to ensure that the trans community in Milwaukee feels protected in our everyday lives. A 100% MEI score is a giant step towards making sure people feel welcome to start a good life here and to ensure that they're wanted here and that creativity does shine in Milwaukee. Today is a great announcement and a wonderful achievement. We've worked hard. We need to celebrate that. But the most important thing is that we need to continue the work. We must keep striving toward the state of Wisconsin passing an expanded law that covers non-discrimination for gender identity as well. This is about growing a community that everyone wants to be a part of. Today recognizes a great step on the journey for equality for trans and gender nonconforming people, our family, loved ones, our friends, and our co-creators. So well done, Milwaukee. Thank you very much.
And if you'd keep that applause rolling, out here are people from different community organizations who have been in this fight for a long time, who have worked on this for a long time, and today we celebrate you. Thank you.